fake speed policeman there. Don't think he's going to make much difference when you can't see him until you're that close. Good morning everybody, Cam Biker here. Saw that little fake policeman there at the side of the road with his fake speed gun. Just a cardboard cutout. I wonder how effective those actually are. Apparently if you put a cardboard cutout of a policeman in a shop, it lowers theft. How true that is, I don't know, but I do see them about the place quite often. But then I've also seen that if you put a screen near the till, that if that screen shows you a picture of yourself, you're less likely to steal things too, on the old self-checkout. That reminded me anyway that a couple of little news stories I've seen this week, quite interesting ones. One of them's a repeat of something I've seen in the past, and it's to do with speeding, and one is something that kind of harks back to a video I did many years ago, but where it's moved on a bit, and it's to do with speeding and other forms of careless and dangerous driving. I thought it was quite interesting little story. I'm not going to talk about whether speeding and speeding tickets are a money maker or not, only to say that I think we all do it a little bit, don't we? A bit of speeding. That's not an admission of guilt for anybody watching this video, because they can use these videos against you. I think everybody speeds a little bit, but then there are times when people go a little bit too far, and I think do need fining. And then I kind of see that as it all goes into the same tax pot in the end, so maybe it's a little bit less tax for people who haven't been speeding. So it's like a voluntary tax in a way, isn't it? But not a voluntary tax that you can keep paying, because after a few goes they take away your ability to do it. Anyway, that aside, these two news stories. First one was on TV the other day on the local news, and it said to try and catch speeders, the police are now openly saying, forget about the camera painted yellow, forget about the sign saying that there's a speed camera ahead. I think for some people outside this country, they'll be baffled by the idea that we're actually warned about speed cameras, and then the painted really, really bright colours that you see before you get to them. So, you know, people slow down is the idea. And what really happens is people slow down just for that one little bit and then speed up again. Here's an example of that. How apt is that little example of the speed camera sign there, to tell you that there could be speed cameras around here. Round here, they're not the ones that are on a pole at the side of the road painted yellow, they're the ones that are in a van painted stripy and shiny, and actually that catches you so far away that probably too late once you see it to slow down anyway. And it means that the van's not always here, sometimes here. What the police were saying on this little thing though is they don't care about that anymore. They're not just going to put the vans in those places, and they're not just going to use vans. They're going to use wheelie bins with cameras in them, and they're going to use tractors, and they're going to use just normal plain clothes vans. What's the word? Unmarked. Unmarked vans. And it could be just plant at the side of the road. Not a plant, but plant machinery at the side of the road that they're going to put cameras in to catch you. So they're basically trying to set this message now that we're not going to warn you, you're just going to get a ticket through the post when you've done it, you naughty, naughty boy. Or girl. Girls can speed too, they just don't do it quite as often. So they're getting keen on it, so there could be one in there, for all I know. There could be one in this sign. So I guess if you speed all the time, it's about giving you a level of paranoia to slow you down, rather than giving you that one-off warning. The other news story I thought was quite interesting, I actually read this on a news website. Can't remember which one, but if I do remember and I find it, I'll put a link at the bottom of the video. And this was Something I mentioned in the past, as I harks back to a video I did in the past where I said, do you think these cameras could be used against us, these cameras on our helmets? And then that kind of spreads out to cameras in vehicles. And if you've got a dash cam in your car, or you've got a helmet camera or a camera on your bike, and you're involved in an accident, or you're pulled over for some reason, and they think you've been speeding or riding or driving dangerously, the police do have the powers to confiscate the card to check it for evidence. And I said about, you know, could they use this same information that we upload to YouTube against us? And that's happened. Many of you will remember the chap, I think he was on the Cat and Fiddle. So the Cat and Fiddle or the Snake Pass or something like that, riding his motorbike, and he was going too fast. He was riding dangerously, and he lost control, and he ended up on the wrong side of the road with a car coming towards him, avoided the car and ended up in the field. Destroyed his bike, I think, and other than that got away with it. But then the police came knocking after the YouTube video of it went viral, so they can use that against you. And then the other day, funnily enough, Graham put a video up where at the end of it he was going through a zebra crossing in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and he was doing, he said 29. It's just after a tight bend, so, and he was on the monkey bike, so sounds about right. And somebody decided to overtake him, so they were speeding and then sped off up the road. But to make it worse, they overtook him over a zebra crossing, which is a offence in its own right. And it's right outside a park where little kids play. Just a really stupid place to do an overtake, rather than waiting a minute or even 10 seconds to get past that. And you think, you know, that clip could be used against that person, and now the police have actually put out websites saying you can upload those clips if you want. I don't think Graham is, but you can upload those clips if you want, and they'll have a look at them, and they'll actually follow up on them, and people will get ticketed from the back of that. That could be awkward, couldn't it, if you've uploaded your footage and the person then works out who did it and comes a looking. But none of those were the news story. The news story is it's gone a step further. Oh, look at that, Ward Hills. It's like Hollywood, look. I'm not sure it's quite as starstruck. Anyway, so it's gone a step further. A company has created an app that you can put on your phone, because everything's an app nowadays. There's probably another video in that, actually. And the app, it goes on your phone. You mount your phone in the windscreen of your car, and it basically acts as a dash cam. It records 30 seconds of footage and loops that footage. And if you touch the phone at any point while it's doing its recording, that's to indicate that somebody in front of you has just done something dangerous or foolish or stupid or illegal, whatever it might be. And it takes all of the work out of doing that reporting to the police. So it actually takes the last 30 seconds and uploads it directly to your local police force to be looked at. I would imagine that that will inundate the police with lots and lots of clips of people not doing too much bad, and probably a lot of clips of people doing a lot of really bad driving, because the standard of driving is pretty atrocious nowadays. But yeah, I thought it was quite an interesting one. Quite interesting, because apparently you need about 4 minutes of video to actually upload something like this, so I'm not sure that it would actually count as evidence anyway. Maybe it would just be for a stern ticking off or a letter or something, but not a fine. But also it does mean that you're kind of doing two things. One that's definitely wrong and one that feels slightly wrong. One is that you'd be touching the phone, which I believe you are allowed to do if it's in a cradle, but it's a pretty grey area. But you'd be touching the phone whilst driving. The other is you'd be mounting the phone in your windscreen. I just looked in my mirror before I set off, and there's a van behind me with the phone mounted in its windscreen right in the middle. But mounting a phone in your windscreen, I believe, is illegal too. of course you couldn't mount it where I mount it. I have mine attached to my vents so that I can use it for music and GPS and stuff when I'm in the car, and so it doesn't get in my field of view, because within a certain field of view or blocking your windscreen is illegal. But apparently they've checked with the police and it's all legal. So we're heading for a point where you won't be able to pass a bin, a car, a truck, a piece of plant machinery, an unmarked van, a tractor, or indeed anybody who's got a phone mounted in the window, or a dash cam or a helmet cam. You won't be able to pass them without that little bit of doubt of, could they be videoing me and could this end up uploaded to the police? Technology, eh? What a world we live in. Let me know what you think in them there comments. Does it terrify you? Does it make you paranoid? Do you think, I don't care because I don't ride illegally or dangerously anyway? Good or bad? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.